it's Elena and today I'll be sharing with you guys my Princeton supplement. Princeton supplement consisted of a few short takes, 2 shorter questions, and a long essay that was basically as long as the personal essay in the common application. Now when I wrote my application I thought, oh, let's start with the short takes, they're easy. Nah, they were not easy, because when you start answering these questions and they only expect like 1 to 3 word answers, then you're like, wait, what are they gonna think about me when I write that? Like, should I try to sound like smart and intellectual? Should I just be honest? Should I try to be funny? And you just don't know what is gonna please the admissions officer. So in the end, I just went with the truth because I honestly couldn't figure out what would impress the admissions committee at Princeton. So I was just like, well, you know, I'm just gonna be real about who I am, and you either like it or you don't. So I'm going to start with the short takes because I also started with them when I wrote my application, and then we're going to get to the 2 shorter questions, and then we're going to take a look at the long essay. So here are the short takes. Your favorite book and its author. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Your favorite movie. Watchers of the Sky. By the way guys, if you have any like really good book or movie recommendations, please send them to me through the contact section of my blog, which is linked below, or just write a comment to this video. I would really love to have them because I still have a few weeks of holidays left, and you know, I have a lot of time to like read good books and watch good movies, and I really want to use that time for that. So yeah, I'd be really grateful if you guys would share some of these recommendations with me. And now let's get on with the short takes. Your favorite website. NewYorkTimes.com. 2 adjectives your friends would use to describe you. Honest and loyal. Your favorite recording. Fight Song by Rachel Platten. Your favorite keepsake or memento. The black bracelet my mother gave me before she went to a mental hospital. Your favorite source of inspiration. My mother. Oh, I don't think I told my mom that I put her in there, but hi mom. Your favorite word. Vorfreude. Okay, so this is German and it basically means the pleasure that you feel before you actually do something because you're so excited to do it. And I don't think there's a word in English for that, so that's why I just wrote down a German word. Your favorite line from a movie or book and its title. History is the study of choices, not of immutable fate. From The Wars for Asia, 1911 to 1949 by S.C.M. Payne. Okay, so those are all the short takes, and now we're gonna get to the 2 shorter questions. The first was about one extracurricular activity or work experience that meant a lot to me, and I had to describe it and, you know, tell them a little bit about how I was involved in it. Since I moved to Hong Kong in 2016, I volunteered at the NGO Crossroads for 7 hours a week. Crossroads provides educational programs for asylum seekers and material resources for people who cannot meet their needs. As a volunteer coordinator, I organize which departments volunteers are sent to and am in touch with potential volunteers. This gave me an insight into the different areas that Crossroads is covering, such as delivering clothing, toys, and furniture, and the different factors that have to be considered when deciding where to send which goods. I also got in touch with many asylum seekers, and they educated me about the difficulties they are facing in Hong Kong. My work showed me the importance of carefully selecting how to help in order to be helpful, and that you can have an impact on other people's lives by giving a few hours of your time. And that's it already. Now, the second short question was about my last 2 summers, and they just asked me to describe what I did in those summers. So here we go. In 2016, I traveled within Europe with family members and friends to spend time with them before I would leave for Hong Kong. I also volunteered at a summer childcare where I took care of a group of younger children. The group included refugee children, which made it important to exclude any activities that include fighting to ensure that the children are not reminded of any traumatic experiences. I also had to pay attention to the language barrier that some of the refugee children faced. I responded to it by including creative activities that did not require much talking. In 2017, I attended Stanford University's high school summer college where I completed a human rights intensive study certificate. To complete the certificate, I attended 2 courses. My introductory course to international relations widened my understanding of global politics and the role of different actors in the international system. My course on genocide and humanitarian intervention gave me an insight into the strengths and weaknesses of international human rights law and how it has evolved throughout history. So yeah, those are all the shorter questions, and now we're going to get to the long essay. So the long essay was basically as long as the personal essay in the common application, and they gave you a few prompts to choose from, and I don't remember what prompts they gave us because on my application I can only see the 1 prompt that I actually chose. So I chose the prompt, tell us about a person who has influenced you in a significant way. And yeah, here we go. My 5th grade mathematics teacher was a man who did not give up easily. I met him on my first day of middle school. He was excited to meet his new class and wanted all of us to feel welcomed in a new school. It took me about 10 minutes to determine that I did not like him. His enthusiasm for numbers and headache-causing calculations disgusted me. But his commitment to our learning was even worse, because I was most definitely not interested in that. The only reason I went to middle school was that I had to go. My mother, who was ill at the time and still dealing with the long fight about money that came with the divorce of my parents, was not paying much attention to my drop in grades. I was not interested in any of my subjects and preferred reading books under the table over listening to my teachers. My math teacher became concerned that I might not pass the year. He tried talking to me, but that was as effective as talking to a wall. So he tried talking to my mother. Although she was more willing to help him, her own struggles kept her from doing so. So he decided to take matters in his own hands. He forced me to join his maths club. The first semester that I spent in that club, I just stared at him and tried to convey my hate for him through the looks I gave him. But he was unimpressed by that and continued to make me go to the weekly meetings. After having wasted my time by staring at him for months, I decided to make use of my time and started to study during the club's meetings. The maths club provided a space where I could work on my mathematics homework or study for coming tests and ask my teacher for help if I needed it. When I started using the time for my maths work, I quickly realized that I should have paid some attention in my teacher's classes. Instead of simply watching my hopeless efforts to catch up a whole semester of maths classes, my teacher sat down with me during the club's meetings and went over the topics we had already covered. And in return, I started to listen to him in class. I did not turn into a top math student overnight, but my grades stopped making my teacher worry about whether I would pass this class. My improvement in mathematics motivated me to work harder in my other subjects as well. My maths teacher was the person that motivated me to try. When I received an award for very good achievements in 7th grade, my 5th grade maths teacher was the person who I thanked. Because without him, I probably would not have started trying a little harder. Without him, I would probably not have received any of the awards for very good achievements which I received from 7th to 10th grade. And I would probably not have had the grades to even think about applying to a boarding school in Hong Kong. His efforts to make me try changed the opportunities I had in life and the amount of respect I have for the education that is given to me. Looking back, I'm grateful for every math club meeting that I got to attend. Oh, I wish I could talk to my 5th grade math teacher again and tell him how grateful I am. And I think the fact that, he came to my mind when they asked about a significant person in my life really tells how much of an impact this teacher had on me. So yeah, I'm really glad that he was my math teacher in 5th grade. So in this essay, I actually changed the wording of the second paragraph a little bit, because when I applied to Princeton, I did tell them exactly what the illness of my mom was and how it affected her, but I think that is private, and that's why I just replaced that with my mother who was ill at the time, just so you guys know. But yeah, I think the sentence still gives you the idea of what I was trying to convey there, just so you guys know that, Princeton actually had a bit more of a detailed picture of what was going on there. But other than that, the essay is exactly as I submitted it to Princeton. If you guys would like to have the written version of my supplement, then please hit the link below, which leads you to the blog article that I wrote about my Princeton supplement, and there everything is in the written form. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to comment them under this video, or write me a message through the contact section of my blog, which is linked in the info box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!